Hello, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my desk, and happy spooky season. I'm pretty excited to get back into a ghost story I wrote a pretty long time ago. I used to write a lot of short stories. I don't really write them that much anymore. I think that's just because I like to focus more on my bigger projects, on my novels. I more start a lot of short stories and kind of play around with them for a bit, but I haven't finished one in a long time. So there are a few that I have finished. This is one of them. It's definitely not my best, but it's a scary story, kind of. It's a ghost story. I thought very fitting for October. So I want to go through it. I want to reread it because it has been a long time. And then I'm going to make notes as if I'm going to revise it. I don't know if I will revise it, but who knows, maybe someday in the future. The story is called The Ghost of Gateway Gardens. It's a bit of a cabin in the woods type of story, except it's just a house, not really a cabin, but there are creepy woods. So yeah, let's get into it. Stay here, babe. So just reiterating what my content warning said, the story does deal with dark themes. I tend to write about a lot of dark things. I like to write about mental health because that's something that's important to me. But yeah, this one in particular, it's dark. So I have my story here, and then I have the same document open, but down here is the reverse outline. This is kind of a new thing that I've started doing, is doing an outline afterwards, just so I can get a good sense of where the story is at and figure out how I can better organize it. I'm going to do a quick read through, work through the reverse outline, and then leave some notes for future me if I want to work on this. Okay, you know what? Not as bad as I was thinking. I think that about a lot of my writing. It could be worse. Okay, with the outline, let's start with the characters. My narrator is named Fern. She is a writer, and then her husband is Henry. He was initially her literary agent, and then they fell in love, got married. He is quite older than her, so there is a bit of a power dynamic there, especially with, agent and client. But eventually they got married, and she could never get published, so they both decided to leave the publishing industry and I guess just be a married couple. Henry got a regular office job. I doesn't really mention what Fern does. I guess she's just acting as a housewife and writing on the side. So let's see. Writer, married to Henry. Then former lit agent, current office worker. Sorry if the click-clackety of my keyboard is loud. We open to Fern in the car, and she's driving somewhere. Find out that Fern is driving to her hometown, and she alludes to the fact that her husband is abusive and that she needs to get away from him. And then she just goes into her whole backstory. Her being a writer, of meeting Henry, falling in love with him, and how he kind of lets out his stress on her. Fern does explain that she and Henry went through a miscarriage that made things worse in their relationship. She dealt with depression. She started taking anti-anxiety pills, antidepressants. Henry just got worse with her. And yeah, she basically needed to leave. You know what? I think I'm going to start leaving comments now while the thoughts are in my head. But yeah, these first few pages, too much info dumping. If I was a first-time reader going through this, page 2, you've already lost me. So I think I'll have to find a way to take this bulk information and gradually reveal it, which throughout the story, I think there is a way I can do that. So she mentions that she's going home to Gateway Gardens, her parents' house. And her parents are away for a while, so she has the house completely to herself. She's alone. I think she would prefer that. She needs some alone time. My hands are practically shaking with anticipation as I twist the key and shove the door open, and I clumsily trip over the mat as I try to step forward. It takes a few moments of stumbling about until I find the lights and switch them on. I squint at the sun brightness, and one by one certain shapes start forming into familiar sights. The rickety old shoe rack, with Mom and Dad's casual and work shoes lazily strewn all over. The antique mirror hanging a lot of description. Let's see. I find my old bedroom. Again, everything is exactly the same, just as I had left it 6 years ago. My eyes jump from the pink bedsheets to the leather reading chair, to the miniature cactus sitting by the window. I approach the window, noticing the dried, wrinkled petals around the small pot. A sharp shiver travels down my spine. Everything truly is exactly the same. It's as if my parents froze my last memory here and preserved it all this time, as if they've been waiting for my return. Okay, so she's kind of having an existential crisis here. But initially, when she came in, she was actually happy to see that things were the same. And then when she sees her room, that's when she kind of freaks out. So I think I need to be consistent. And the moment she steps into her house, it bothers her. Stay consistent. She immediately feels unsettled by sameness. You'll see here, and then here. I really like repetition in my writing. That's something I still do, but I think I have better control of it. Here, I do it way too much, to the point where reading it back, I'm just like, stop saying the same thing. But anyway, she freaks out and she is compelled to take her anxiety medication. So she takes Xanax. Fern starts explaining the woods behind her house and explains that it has a bad reputation in the neighborhood. People don't really like to get lost in them. But she used to when she was younger. Let's see. According to them, the deeper one explored, the easier it was for the darkness to take over one's mind and persuade them to take their own life. A tad dramatic, to say the least. There had to be some neighborhood kids who'd believe that the idea was ridiculous, But even so, not a soul dared to get too close. That was just fine with me. With everyone avoiding it at all costs, the comforting canopy of these woods was mine. So she's going through the woods right now. She sees this old shed. Of course, there's always a creepy old shed. She goes in. I don't see it immediately. A foot, no, a leg, 2 legs near the back. What is this description? Yeah, there's a body. Da-da-da. The skin an impossible shade of white, with long, thin scratches almost artfully placed, like cracks on a porcelain doll. She'd fallen and she'd cracked. But how? By whom? My hand grips the door even tighter, but it's no use. Refuse to move. Murdered? Was this murder? No. My hand relaxes at that single word. No, this can't be. There's no sign of a struggle, no sign of a second person being here. Hold on. You shouldn't just assume. There very much could be a serial killer, standing right behind you, so you're acting way too chill about this. Okay, she goes out into the woods. She finds the old shed, goes inside, sees the body. She assumes that it's suicide. Assumes suicide. Although you really shouldn't. Killer could be right behind you. And then she just leaves. Okay. Leaves. But you know what? I probably would leave too. So then she explains that she's been conflicted. She doesn't know if she wants to call the police, saying, I should call it in, but I don't want to. I don't want anyone messing with that body. I'm pretty damn sure whoever it is wouldn't want anyone messing with them either. I sure as hell wouldn't. Even in death, I would just want to be left alone. And that's that. I think she needs a better reason not to call the police, or at least more reasons, because really, you're not going to call the police? Need a better reason not to report body. Okay. So she takes her Xanax again, I guess just wanting to forget. And then as she's falling asleep, something changes. White melts into the dark wood of the floor, then molding into feet and then legs. Flower white legs with deep red scratches all over the surface. My chest catches in bewilderment, but it's too late. The medication is dragging me under. The feet seem to shuffle closer, but I don't know for sure. The darkness takes hold of me. That's legitimately creepy. I feel like those kinds of images where you're about to fall asleep and you feel like you see something in your peripherals, just freaks me out. So late at night, after taking meds, thinks she sees something, a white figure. Very much The Grudge and The Ring, horror movies I grew up with and very much like. So the next morning, she's pretty freaked out. Says the pills have never given her nightmares before, so she's assuming she was just imagining. She starts questioning how many pills she took, so she thinks that the pills are messing with her head. And then she starts wondering about the woman that she saw in the shed. But if she was my age? And then she kind of connects the woman with the figure she saw, and she's like, huh. Yeah, maybe seeing that just traumatized her and is making her see weird things, which would be valid. Later, Fern decides to get back into her writing, but she's very used to writing cheesy romance novels. Things like Whispers in the Wind, Bittersweet Tears, The Secondhand Veil, all of them heavy romantic content. And because of what she's going through with her husband, she's just not in the mood. So she starts writing a new story, and we start getting into that. We see her getting into her writing process. And then, as she's writing, a distinct creaking noise reaches my ears. My hand freezes, the pen lingering right over the word her. The sound came from behind me. I know it came from behind me. I scoot closer to my desk, waiting for a similar creak out of the wheels of my chair. Nothing. It wasn't from my chair. My heart pounds a little faster. Oh, stop it, I think. You're being ridiculous. Just get back to what you were writing. Creak. I immediately drop the pen and cover my ears. It's nothing, Fern. Creak. Creak. It's nothing. It's nothing. Again with the repetition. More repetition. Stop, I scream, whirling around in my chair to find nothing. I let my hands fall to my lap as my entire body slumps forward. Of course it's nothing. She starts writing a new project. Bit of a thriller horror project. She hears odd creaking noises. No explanation. And then here again with the repetition. I need to stop doing this. Repetition. I know how to spell repetition. Okay. Then the more she works on her story, she's just really struggling. And then a cold hand makes contact with the back of my neck, and I jump out of my chair, bringing my hands to my neck. Say neck twice in one sentence. Anyway, there, I saw it. An arm pull away and then vanish. I fall back into my chair, breathing hard, staring at nothing but air. I saw it. I know I did. I think I did. Did I take my pills today? I can't remember. I should remember. It's actually surprising to me how much I repeat words. I definitely still do that, but my goodness, not to this degree. Stop repeating yourself. All right. Then she takes more pills, goes to bed, and then choking. Something is choking me. Okay, I'm just not going to comment on it anymore. I repeat words a lot. My eyes fly open, and the first thing that registers is hair. So much hair. That figure is looming over me, its long dark hair draping its body, wrapping around my neck. I claw at what feels like pure wire, but I can't tear it from my neck. The grip only gets tighter and tighter, until one last breath is choked out of me. And then it's just gone. There's no figure, there's no hair, no wire. It's just me in my bed coughing and crying like a maniac. No, I can't do this anymore. I'm not a maniac. I can't be. So she scrambles out of bed. She takes her pills. She dumps her story and the pills in the trash. And then heads out the door. Goes straight for the woods, for the shed. And then here, my face now stained with remnants of tears, I throw the door open and run out into the dark night. And then, as you'll see here, it's basically repeating what she was writing, so I guess I was going for the effect of her writing coming to life. I don't stop running until I reach the shed. The body is exactly where I last saw it, crumpled in the very back corner. I don't know what I was expecting. for it to be missing, for it to be roaming around my house instead. It's a dead body. Of course it's still here. Even so, I'm not completely put at ease. I approach the body, coming much too close for my comfort, and peer over to see its face. I fall to my knees. No, it's not possible. She'd stuffed her own hair down her throat. That's a visual. Her hand still frozen at her neck. But that's not what caused her death. There were 3 bottles, all of them completely empty, strewn by her side. The 3 bottles I had thrown only moments ago. The 3 bottles she, had downed the first night at the house. A blood-curdling scream erupts from behind, echoing throughout the shed. My mother has returned, and it looks like she's found us. So it is a case of her own ghost haunting her. I don't know if that's really a thing, if I've ever really seen that in a story. I am thinking of one TV show. It's a haunted house show / family drama. I don't want to spoil it, but if you know what show I'm talking about, 10 points to you. Let's look at the outline and see what I can do to tie this together. Fern is driving to her hometown, needing to get away. She explains her home life, alludes to husband being abusive. Gateway Gardens, her parents' house. Her parents are away. She gets the whole house to herself for a while. She's unsettled by the sameness in the home, by how much she's changed. She has a meltdown, takes her Xanax. She goes out into the woods, notorious for driving people mad. She finds the old shed, goes inside, and sees a body. Assumes suicide, leaves. She decides not to call the police. Why? I don't know. I will have to figure that out. Late at night, after taking meds, thinks she sees something. White figure. Next morning, wonders if her meds are making her hallucinate. She starts writing a new project. She hears odd creaking noises, no explanation. Continues struggling with her writing. She keeps taking her pills without really keeping track. Wakes up to white figure choking her. Having had enough, she throws away her story and meds, heads out for the woods. She finds the shed, finds the body, finds out it's actually her. So like I said before, the first few pages is really just exposition. And I think I can where is it? I think I can get a lot of what am I trying to say? I think I can get a lot of that exposition out in this story that she's writing. Because she's already it's very late in the night. I can't talk. Anyway, she's already writing and drawing from her own experiences, so I think this would just be an easier and more natural way of getting into her backstory. Let's see. Use her writing to give her backstory. And then I like these moments of build-up where she sees this ghost. She sees herself. But I think it's not enough. And I also think, so she's taking her pills. She saw this body. Obviously that's gonna mess with her head. So when she starts seeing things, she's automatically gonna go to, yeah, I'm just seeing things. But I think there needs to be, I think I need to have a different kind of build-up. So let me see. I think instead of diving right into the ghosty stuff, she should actually just have nightmares, just regular nightmares. So she starts having nightmares, and then I'll build up to her actually seeing the ghosty stuff, and then I think that'll be a better way because it'll start blending together, and she'll start getting confused with what are nightmares and what she's actually seeing. And then I think that'll be natural progression to hearing the creaking, because I think it would be a little weird to go to her seeing the ghost and then kind of backtracking to creaking noises. So she starts having the nightmares. I wonder... I'm trying to draw from nightmares I've actually had and the nightmares that really get under my skin. What I'm thinking for here, what I think could work, is that she dreams of the shed, of the body, and she just has this weird feeling that she caused the woman's death. So when I'm really stressed, I have these dreams where I've killed someone and I'm terrified of getting caught. So I never actually see myself doing the killing. I'm like in that place where maybe I see the body, or like there's police around, and I'm really just in this weird headspace where I'm so paranoid and I'm just terrified of getting caught. Maybe with Fern it just starts out that way, where she doesn't see anything, she doesn't see any details, she just has this bad feeling that she did something, that she did this. And then as the nights go on, she'll keep having nightmares, and then nightmares will escalate to where she maybe starts going back in time more and starts seeing more of what happened. So nightmares will escalate. She sees more details of murder. And then at this part where she's writing her new project, so we'll start using this project to deliver backstory. But then as she's having these nightmares, maybe that story will then go into what she's seeing in her dreams. So we'll start using this project to deliver backstory. She then starts incorporating what she sees in dreams. And then this night, when she wakes up to the white figure choking her. Yeah, it might be interesting if she actually writes out that scene first. Or maybe she dreams it first, and then it comes to life. Something like that. I'm not sure what I want to do there. So she either writes about this encounter first, or she dreams it. Question mark. I think I do like the ending. I wonder, I have workshopped this story before, and I think I remember a couple people saying it was predictable that the ghost was her. So I wonder if there is a way I can sprinkle all of this in, but not make it obvious. But of course you want to hint at it so it makes sense. So that's a balance you have to really get right. Good thing I'm not committed to revising this, but because I don't know if I want to work on all this right now, but it's not a bad story. I think there's potential here. I just think it needs a lot of fleshing out, a lot of reorganizing, and then maybe it could be a pretty decent ghost story. There's a lot of my writing here where I can tell that I'm trying to have very flowery literary writing, and it just doesn't work. I'm just not good at literary type of writing. My writing it's more simple, clean, and I'd say easily digestible, which I think is perfect for YA fiction, which is what I mostly write. But yeah, when I'm just trying to sound not smarter, but I guess more flowery than usual, it doesn't work. So I do wonder how I could go about changing that, because I don't know if my simple YA style would really work here, but the style it has already also doesn't work. So I don't know. Okay, that's it for this video. I had a lot of fun going through this ghost story. I've had a lot of fun the past few videos looking at all of my old writing, like my master's thesis, like my first YA dystopian novel. It's been pretty wild seeing what my writing was like and seeing how much I've evolved. It's also funny looking back on your writing and you're like, huh, that's actually not too bad. That line's pretty good, but also being thankful of how much you've grown. Do let me know what you thought of this story. If you enjoyed it, if you thought it wasn't that great, wasn't that scary, totally fair. Let me know about maybe any horror stories, ghost stories you've written, and I hope you guys have a very happy Halloween, happy spooky season. I'm going to take a little break and enjoy another horror movie. So I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.